We are live in 3, 2, 1.
It prohibits a driver to operate a vehicle when their driver's view is obstructed.
Governor Cox signs 129 bills into law, including one that will impact all Utah drivers.
I'm dedicated to ensuring Provo will always be economically vibrant.
Mayor Kaufusi gives her second of 4 State of the City addresses.
1 year ago today, a 5.7 magnitude earthquake rocked the Wasatch Front. Welcome to Newsline. It's Thursday, March 18th. I'm Catherine Bennett.
And I'm Tucker Thompson. Breaking news. Everyone in Utah will be able to get the COVID-19 vaccine next week.
Less than 2 hours ago, Governor Spencer Cox announced the vaccine will be available to all Utah adults on March 24th.
As of next Wednesday of next week, we will authorize vaccinations for every adult in the state.
The governor made the announcement this morning during his monthly news conference. He says every type of vaccine will be available to anyone over 18 years old. Those who are 16 to 18 years old will only be able to get the Pfizer vaccine.
This is a significant movement in timing. It also means that there will not be vaccine available for everyone in the state next week. I want to be very clear about that.
Even though Utahns have to wait until next week to get the shot, they can sign up for an appointment now. Appointments can be made at coronavirus.utah.gov. Those who will be eligible for the vaccine next week but want to make their appointment now need to make sure they are making the appointment for after March 24th.
The Canyon School District decides to keep to a blended schedule for the rest of the school year. The school district switched to a blended learning schedule this past fall due to COVID. Students currently attend in-person class 4 days a week and have virtual learning on Friday. Both teachers and students expressed their support of virtual Fridays and their exhaustion from the changing schedule since the pandemic.
I am June 1st tired in the middle of March. This has been the most difficult year in my entire teaching career.
Bradshaw says her students are frustrated with the chaos and change from this year. The board hopes their decision will help teachers, students, and parents keep to their current routines. The district plans to return to a 5-day in-person schedule next school year. Face masks will continue to be required in schools and on buses in the Canyon School District and other districts in the state. This rule applies even for people who have received vaccination. Even though the endgame bill approved by Utah lawmakers during the 2021 legislative session ends the state's mask mandate on April 10th, schools are exempt from the legislation. Governor Spencer Cox says the mask mandate will continue after April 10th in schools and for large gatherings.
And schools aren't the only ones still requiring masks. Harmon's Grocery announces it will still require customers to wear masks despite Utah lifting the mask mandate.
I think we all understand how important and how critical it is right now for all of us to care for one another and to be safe and healthy.
Harmon says it is sticking to the rule in order to protect their employees and customers. They intend to focus on safety until more people have been vaccinated.
Today marks 1 year since an earthquake shook the Wasatch Front. The U.S. Geological Survey received more than 30,000 reports from Utahns saying they felt the shaking that morning. The 5.7 magnitude earthquake struck on March 18th, 2020 at 7:09 a.m. in Salt Lake County. The earthquake's epicenter was located just north of Magna. No major injuries were reported after the main shock or the aftershock, but more than 2,500 aftershocks have been recorded since the initial earthquake last year. Before the earthquake, the exact location of the Wasatch Fault line was unknown. But because of the Magna sequence, members of the Utah Seismic Safety Commission have determined that the earthquake took place along the Salt Lake City segment of the Wasatch Fault. They also know that the fault line curves into the earth at a shallow angle and is not as deep beneath the surface as they originally thought. This means that shaking during future earthquakes could be more severe and damaging.
If your home or business was impacted by the earthquake, you may still be eligible for financial help. You can apply to the U.S. Small Business Administration to receive up to $2 million to repair the damage caused by the earthquake. The deadline to apply is April 9th, 2021. To learn more or to apply for a loan, you can visit their website at disasterloonassistance.sba.gov or call them at 800-659-2955. Be Ready Utah will host a town hall meeting tonight about earthquake preparedness.
To start at home. You need to be prepared.
The organization teaches residents how to be prepared in various situations. For earthquake preparedness, they focus on topics such as house safety, safety drills, and food storage. The free seminar will be hosted tonight at 7:30, streamed on the Be Ready Utah page.
The Magna earthquake was fairly moderate in comparison to others, but was the strongest quake to hit Utah since 1962.
Sierra Isasaga is here to tell us how Utahns felt then and how they're feeling now, an entire year later. Sierra?
When taking the coronavirus into account just a week prior, it's not hard to see why this earthquake was traumatizing for many Utahns. And we're better to go in 2020 to share our trauma than TikTok.
My family evacuated from Seattle to Utah to avoid the virus. Then this morning, there was an earthquake in Utah.
There is no way you're bound because everyone falls down sometime.
Many went to TikTok to reenact what they experienced, while others showed actual footage of the earthquake. But TikTok wasn't the only platform to blow up. Amy on Twitter says, "I remember my kids asking if the world was ending. First the pandemic and then the earthquake." Well, Utah Public Safety posted some reminder tips on how to reduce risk during an earthquake with the drop, cover, and hold on approach. And ABC News posted just this morning about another earthquake that happened today, just 10 minutes short of the exact anniversary of the Magna earthquake. Well, hopefully earthquakes don't become an annual tradition for Utah, but in case they do, the good news is that we can now be better prepared in the future. Back to you guys.
Governor Spencer Cox declares a state of emergency in Utah due to drought conditions. The declaration allows drought-affected communities, agricultural producers, and others to officially begin the process that may provide access to state or federal emergency resources. With 90% of the state experiencing extreme drought, the governor is asking Utahns to evaluate their water use and find ways to save. After a record dry summer and fall, the winter snowpack is only about 70% of the average for the year. Newly confirmed Secretary of the Interior, Deb Haaland, plans to visit Utah next month. Haaland is considering whether to reverse President Donald Trump's decisions to shrink national monuments in the state. She is expected to submit her report to President Joe Biden after her trip to the Beehive State in April. Haaland plans to meet with tribes, elected leaders, and others. She has yet to announce the specific dates of her visit.
Governor Cox continues to perfect his signature while he signed another 129 bills into law. This brings the total number of signed pieces of legislation from the 2021 General Legislative Session to 389. The batch of bills includes bonuses for teachers who have been working during the COVID-19 pandemic, the development of a campus safety plan for Utah colleges and universities, and an increase in the number of medical cannabis dispensaries. If you don't use your turn signal, you could now get a ticket in Utah. Newsline reporter Andrew Reed is in Provo. Andrew, why is law enforcement cracking down on those who don't use their turn signals before merging?
According to the insurance industry, Utah frequently ranks in the top 10 as having the worst drivers in the nation because of its high number of traffic accidents. The Utah legislator hopes to improve that image by urging drivers to do one simple thing, and that is simply turning the turn signal on before merging into another lane. Governor Spencer Cox signed House Bill 69 on Tuesday to amend the Utah Traffic Code. The new law requires Utah drivers to use their turn signals when merging or changing lanes and prohibits them from driving if their view gets obstructed. Senator Chris Wilson and Representative Calvin Musselman sponsored the bill.
You would have thought that there was a code that would require a driver to use a turn signal when they're coming to the end of a lane, but I guess there was nothing in code.
The bill also includes penalties for anything on the windshield that would limit a driver's view, things such as not being completely defrosted or having dirt or debris of any kind. Drivers will also need to limit what hangs on their rearview mirror using objects less than 25 square inches, about the size of an average parking pass.
So we have a lot of problem with people driving around with their windshields that aren't completely defrosted, and a lot of them are causing issues. I had one of them that ran into the front of yard of Sponsorman, Representative Musselman.
Based on an analysis from more than 2 million insurance quotes in 2020, Utah ranked as the 5th most accident-prone state. Salt Lake was also ranked 6th in the nation for worst drivers.
I can't tell you how many times I've been on the freeway and someone's cut me off. So I think it would be beneficial to prevent accidents and people getting hurt.
The penalty for breaking this law is an infraction, which is the least serious traffic offense. Although the governor signed the bill this week, The new enforcement law won't take effect until the first week of May. Reporting for Newsline, I'm Andrew Reed.
Thanks, Andrew.
Mayor Kaufusi gives her second of 4 State of the City addresses.
Welcome to Provo's 2021 State of the City Address.
Kaufusi is splitting up Provo's State of the City addresses into 4 videos to represent the 4 Provo pillars. Her second address focused on the economy in Provo and features local businesses. She highlighted the economic aid the city provided local businesses during the pandemic that kept many afloat. She also mentioned how those who live in Provo can help local businesses thrive.
Every Provo resident, including you, can help Provo thrive economically.
Provo is home to 73 local restaurants, one being Hrushka's Kolaches, which is where the video was filmed. Today, a video will be released for the pillar Safe and Sound, and Friday, the final video for Forward Looking will be released.
Former NBA and BYU player Sean Bradley is paralyzed after a biking accident. The accident happened 2 months ago. Bradley was riding a bike a block away from his home in St. George when a car hit him from behind, paralyzing him. Bradley, who is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, says he is relying on his faith. He also says his wife Carrie and the prayers from his family, friends, and fans are helping as he adjusts to life as a paraplegic.
The BYU student killed in a car accident on Tuesday has been identified. Police say 22-year-old Joseph Spencer was killed in a car accident in Provo on Tuesday. He was pulling out of the Taco Bell drive-thru on 9th East when he was T-boned by an oncoming black Tacoma. It's unknown what caused the accident, but it's possible that the heavy rain could have played a part. The other driver is a 51-year-old Provo resident and only received minor injuries.
A Utah National Guardsman receives the Utah Cross Award for his heroic actions in June. Technical Sergeant Eric Bornmeyer was the first on the scene of a head-on collision between a car and a motorcycle. Bornmeyer was on his way to work. The motorcyclist was lying in the road when Bornmeyer crossed several lanes of traffic to reach and help the victim. The Utah Cross is the second highest award a National Guard member can receive. It is only for bravery above and beyond the line of duty.
Salt Lake City is the most stress-free city in the nation. A study done by the Skin Store, an online skincare and cosmetics company, calculated the Zen score for each major city. The score looks at considers many factors like overall happiness, earnings, and even pollution. Salt Lake came in first, followed by Indianapolis, Des Moines, and Columbus. Anchorage was ranked last.
BYU released a study on the university's efforts to achieve racial equality. Find out what they are doing.
My background allows me to see racism when it happens.
Find out what scientists want to bury on the moon and why they want to bury it there. The Super Nintendo theme park is open. We'll take you inside the theme park and show you how it is different from the others.
And a sunrise that you don't see every day. Plus, we've got some rainstorms across the U.S. What that means for Utah, coming up.
Where's Tommy?
I thought he was with you.
No.
Jack.
Tommy?
Go get him.
Don't stop. Keep playing. Here we go. Here's the fun part.
Did you do this?
Great job.
Encouragement. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Another Tokyo Olympics executive is stepping down after making inappropriate comments about a female performer. Creative director Hiroshi Sasaki was head of the opening and closing creative team. This is the second executive to step down in 2021 for making sexist remarks. The president of the organizing committee resigned in February. Researchers find pieces of the oldest version of the Hebrew Bible hidden in a cave. This is the first finding in 60 years. The scrolls are in Greek and contain text from the books of Zechariah and Nahum. It is believed that Jewish rebels hid the scrolls in a cave to protect them from the Roman Empire. Among the scrolls, they also found a 6,000-year-old child's skeleton and a complete basket more than 10,000 years old.
What you're looking at is the Global Seed Vault in Norway, but a team of engineers at the University of Arizona also wants to build one just like it on the moon. And it's not just for seeds. They say that they want to ship and preserve everything that we would need to restart the human and animal population if there was a mass doomsday apocalypse. Super Nintendo World has finally opened. After postponing its opening due to COVID restrictions, the park has opened its gates in Osaka, Japan. The park features giant replicas of Nintendo's most popular games. While there are still restrictions on park capacity and physical distancing, the popular game park is promised by executives to be an experience that can be found nowhere else in the world.
3 deadly shootings at spas in the Atlanta area left 8 dead, 6 of whom were Asian women. And as Bert Conway reports, this tragedy is only adding to the fear Asian Americans around the country are already facing.
People around the world are talking about what happened here. Shootings at 3 spas in metro Atlanta. 8 people are dead and 6 were Asian women. Police say suspect Robert Aaron Long told them the shootings weren't about race. They were about eliminating sexual temptation. But Georgia officials are investigating whether the shootings can be prosecuted as hate crimes. Either way, it's adding to outrage and anxiety over rising violence against Asian Americans. Advocacy group Stop AAPI Hate reports receiving almost 3,800 complaints from mid-March 2020 through February.
Many of my family members are living in fear. I think the rhetoric from our previous administration was definitely the catalyst for all of this.
Here's what this administration has to say.
We stand with you and understand how this has frightened and shocked and outraged.
President Joe Biden is instructing officials to hold listening sessions in Atlanta. And on this issue, people have a lot to say, from politicians in Georgia.
I think this country has a reluctance to admit that there is very real and deep-rooted systemic racism that does result in violence.
To governors of other states, former President Barack Obama, advocates.
A lot of Asian Americans who are looking over their shoulders when they go outside, when they go to the grocery store.
And foreign leaders, all pleading for change. I'm Britt Conway, reporting.
A new study from Brigham Young University shows the school's efforts in furthering racial equality on campus. As Newsline reporter Chloe Stewart tells us, things are headed in a positive direction.
BYU released a study on the university's efforts to achieve racial equality. The Committee on Race, Equity, and Belonging did the study to better understand students' experience with racial equality on campus and develop strategies for improvement.
I am Latina, I'm Puerto Rican. I guess just my background allows me to see racism when it happens, or just to see that a lot of people don't quite understand that maybe they are exhibiting racist behaviors.
BYU President Kevin J. Worthen said, all of the recommendations are extremely helpful. He added, the committee's full report and the recommendations will help better nurture and retain our BIPOC students and employees. There is hard work ahead, but the committee has outlined some important steps we need to take.
The white people on campus obviously aren't going to have anything to complain about regarding the racial climate on campus.
While any progress toward racial equality on campus is a positive, students are hoping for increased and continual progress. According to the study, 71% of non-white students and employees feel overall satisfaction with the current racial climate on campus. However, 13% of BYU's non-white community claim to be dissatisfied.
I do think over the past year, BYU has responded well to just the political climate in the world. I do feel like they're trying.
To view the findings of the study, visit race.byu.edu. Reporting for Newsline in Provo, I'm Chloe Stewart.
Wow, take a look at this incredible sunrise in Maine. But does something look a little off? This beach is frozen, and I think we just landed in Queen Elsa's kingdom. I am a total beach girl, and I have never seen this before. Just look at those waves. It looks like a stopped motion picture, and what a spectacular sight to see. Behind me, though, you can see our radar for today. We have huge swells of green in the west coast, but also way out here in the east coast as well. This is huge rainstorms coming across the U.S. But Utah, we're looking a little dry, which means we are having warmer temperatures. This is also bringing wind as well. In my next radar, we are seeing blue across the whole United States. Also in here in Utah, it will be growing. So this next couple of days, we will see a warm wind mix combination. And then in the weekend, cooler temperatures will come. For today, however, we are going to be in the 60s and the 50s as well. Salt Lake City is 65, Provo as well as 65, Moab 66, and St. George, we're at a high of 68 with a low of 47. For southern Utah's 5-day forecast, we are going to be seeing sunny skies the whole week long. It is going to be so beautiful, except for Tuesday, which will the clouds will come with that rain on Tuesday night. For northern Utah, the most winter changes we are going to be seeing is on Saturday and Tuesday as well. Saturday and Tuesday, which we are going to be seeing rain and snow. However, tomorrow on Friday, we'll have a high of 70, which is kind of a beautiful blessing to us. That's all I have for you guys. Unfortunately, Elsa's Magic will not be staying with us. We'll be right back.
My twin brother Jacob has an autism spectrum disorder. I remember one moment after being at school all day. I remember him getting into the car just bawling and saying, "Mom, I have no friends. Why don't I have any friends?" It broke my heart. That was the moment when I realized that I needed to do something about this. I needed to make a difference in his life. And I knew that if I could help him find a friend, I could help teach other people that including people with differences is the right thing to do. That was the inspiration behind my nonprofit, Score a Friend. Educating people to include people with differences is so important because when Jacob's included, he feels like he can succeed in life and he feels like he actually has a purpose.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, "I want him, he's gotta come home with me." Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
$150 over $90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
Your blood pressure numbers could change your life. Lowering them could save you from having a stroke. If you've stopped your treatment plan, restart it or talk to your doctor about creating one that works better for you. Start taking the right steps at manageyourbp.org.
Now I'm, trying to get better, stronger than ever.
A Utah mother of 6 started a drive to provide feminine hygiene products to those who may not have access to them. Newsline reporter Rachel Smith is live in Utah County. Rachel, how is she improving the lives of women and girls all over Utah?
Yeah, Tucker, Kristen Andrus is a mother, wife, YouTuber, and philanthropist, but even she couldn't predict how impactful this project would become.
And it really just snowballed. It was incredible.
It started when she sponsored schools to provide weekend bags for students. Andrus says that's when she learned about the need for feminine hygiene products.
She said, This is great, and people love to donate food and they love to donate coats, but what we really need are pads and tampons. We do not have menstrual products.
But Andrus says that for some reason, many consider feminine hygiene a taboo subject.
It's not being addressed. There's still a little bit of stigma attached to, feminine products and things like that.
Women and girls often end up using products for an unhealthy amount of time, or they avoid going to school and work during their menstrual cycles. Many also don't realize that they can't use food stamps to purchase the products. The community rallied together to address the problem.
And within the first 2 weeks of February, we raised over $30,000, which was incredible. It was literally $5 at a time.
Andrus only saw small donations, somewhere between $5 and $25, but they added up. Before the announcement, Andrus committed to match whatever others donate. She will use the matched funds to provide products and bags to schools, shelters, and other facilities for the rest of the year.
What's cool is you can do it anywhere. And what I always tell people is be the megaphone, be the organizer. You don't have to put in money. If you're a college student eating top ramen, you can still do a Sister Goods drive.
You can visit her Instagram or KristenAndrus.com for more information on Sister Goods and how to get involved. Reporting live for Newsline in Provo, I'm Rachel Smith.
Thanks, Rachel. We have a correction to make. Earlier in the newscast, we told you about a BYU student who was killed in a car crash on Tuesday.
We inadvertently showed you the wrong photo. This is the correct photo of the victim. 22-year-old Joseph Spencer was hit and killed when coming out of a Taco Bell parking lot. We would like to apologize for the mistake. Thanks for joining us today for Newsline.
For more information on our stories or to share them with your friends, check out our website at universe.byu.edu/Newsline.
Have a great day.